Welcome on in, everybody. Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking us on out. Fresh off the heels of the Miami Heat, just obliterating the Cleveland Cavaliers 129-96. Most points the Heat have ever scored against the Cavaliers, and the largest margin of victory ever against the Cleveland Cavaliers, beating them by 33 points tonight without Bam Adebayo. And yes, the Cleveland Cavaliers, of course, were without Spider Mitchell. They have not had him for the last 4 games, but they were, riding high off of a couple of wins. They had beaten the Nuggets. They had beaten the Philadelphia 76ers. So that front line of Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, a couple of nights of taking out some of the best bigs in the league. And tonight, with no Bam, Kevin Love not there for personal reasons, they just got absolutely throttled and beat up by Thomas Bryant and Orlando Robinson. And that, my friends, culture. That's what that is right there, dude. We have enough. But honestly, the complete catalyst of this game was Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry today with a just sensational shooting performance tonight without Bam Adebayo. He comes out of the gate, guns blazing. And I know it's a little early for the holidays because we're all going to be carving some turkeys. Either you're watching it today, so you're going to do it in mere hours, or maybe you're watching this on the eve of Turkey Day. But Kyle Lowry was in a festive mood early for this one because he lit the Cavaliers' ass up like a Christmas tree today, dude. Kyle Lowry finished the night 28 points, 9 of 15, 7 of 10 from downtown. Was just completely had that confidence in his shot going, was shooting that thing, getting him up. It was a beautiful performance by Kyle Lowry today for the Miami Heat. And then the big story of this one was the production that you got off the bench. I mean, really, the sensational rookie year continues for Jaime Jaquez Jr., who not only had a season high 22 points tonight, but his 3-point shot was money. 4 of 4 from downtown today for Jaime Jaquez, and it was a really great shooting night all around. I mean, you get those kinds of nights with half of them coming from Kyle and from Jaime, but Jay Rich had it going tonight. Caleb Martin had it going tonight. Haywood Highsmith hit a couple for you tonight. And the funny thing was, this was supposed to be the big showdown between Max Strus and Duncan Robinson. And Duncan Robinson probably had his worst game of the season tonight. It's funny, no Bam. Jimmy Butler shot 3 of 12 tonight, and Duncan Robinson really didn't give you anything because of foul trouble. Just couldn't get into a big flow, although he did hit a big one right after halftime from way deep just to get on the board. But all of those things considered, and the Miami Heat just got it from everywhere else on this roster, and put together just one of their best offensive performances of the season. So funny to show. Listen, they really gathered around as a team today and put forth a tremendous effort. And then on Cleveland's side of things, for Max Strus, he, in his revenge game, he was 2 of 6, 2 of 4 from downtown, finished with 6 points, but really didn't get it going. We did get the old Jimmy Butler, Max Strus salute. It was very emotional. It was a heart-warming moment before the game. But it is funny, you think about this, it's impossible not to think about this, but Max Strus being in Cleveland and was what a tenure, what a story with the Miami Heat. I don't like what we've had to do with Max and with Gabe. And Max has had a much better start to his Cavs tenure than Gabe has, because Gabe has had the injuries that he's obviously had to deal with. But I don't like what we've had to do with these guys. But it's because the bums won't talk about it. And the bums won't talk about how they were saying the Miami Heat were going to be dead in the water when it came to depth. And now you have a game today where no Bam, Duncan Robinson, already don't have Tyler Hero, no Bam, no Kevin Love, Jimmy Butler, building a brick house, and up and down the lineup, people are just contributing. The Heat tonight got an absolutely sensational performance from their bench tonight. They got 64 points tonight from the bench. Well, what are you going to do? They couldn't deal with the loss of Max Strus. They said that the Heat were going to be dead in the water without Max Strus. It's crazy. It's crazy. And yet here the Miami Heat stand 10 wins on the season, which if you go to the NBA standings tonight is the same amount of wins as every team behind the Celtics, who have 12. They beat the Bucks tonight by a mere 3 points. But, you know, it's like it shouldn't be surprising though. Everybody who was here, they're like, oh, you know, Bucks, Sixers, Celtics, and then what do you know? I look at the standings and the Miami Heat right there with everybody bunched in together. Crazy, man. It's a wild thing because I was told that this wasn't going to be possible. But what do we know, right? What do we know? The one lone piece of real bad news today was for Drew Smith. Drew Smith, you know, you would think with all those years of Dan Gilbert pocketing, you know, having LeBron James there, nothing and putting nothing around him, he would build a court that doesn't have booby traps around it. But you know what a concept. But apparently these bum ass Cavaliers. And John Crotty was talking about this on the broadcast. This has gone back for a while where they've always had a court that ends. Like it goes and that, you know, you'll see this in the Final Four from time to time. This is professional basketball. Why don't you guys have a court that goes under the bench? What are we doing here? This is ridiculous. So Drew Smith trying to close out on a Max Strus 3. He ends up slipping under the bench, and it looked bad. It looked like a bad knee injury for Drew Smith. So that was a tough one to watch, to see Drew Smith and his season. This is probably his big opportunity amongst having Tyler Hero down and really getting a shot with the big club, and Cleveland with their bum ass court. Crazy, dude. Getting back to this game though, you had got to shout out the performances of the two bigs, particularly Orlando Robinson tonight. Finished with 14 points, 9 rebounds. It was just absolutely great. He had one point where he got into the pass. So UD put this highlight up, but he got it front and Jared Allen, got a steal and just dunked it on all the Cavaliers. So he was. It was great to see him make some real production out of his minutes tonight. And Thomas Bryant did a good job too, just completely solid after being knocked out of the rotation, basically. The backup big being Kevin Love. These guys stayed ready. And I think that's one of the things you always love about a Heat team, is that the whole thing, the buzzword of culture, all that's fine, but they really do harbor an environment of these guys holding each other accountable to stay ready for these moments. And both of those guys stepped up in a big way against a matchup. Look, this is Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, one of the best front court duos in the league, especially defensively. And these guys got completely outworked tonight. They got completely outplayed. And, you could sit here and you go, second night of a back-to-back, Tobin. Boo. It's the land. I don't want to hear it. The Miami Heat have been on the road basically for a month. So excuse you if you guys had to go to take a little puddle jumper over to Philadelphia. You win. You come in here, maybe you feel like fat cats, and you think, oh, no, Bam on a bye. We can take it easy tonight. Nah, that's on you. That's on you, dude. I'm sorry. If you don't want to come in with the tenacity that it takes, too bad, how sad. I don't have any sympathy for you. And this was a great team effort win for Miami. Cleveland is, a decent team. They have Darius Garland, who's been lighting the world on fire. He was really the only guy who had it going for him tonight. Finished with 14 points, but it's probably him and Craig Porter were like the only guys who had any kind of thump. I can't believe they're still running Tristan Thompson out there. There was one point where Kyle Lowry just fouls him and goes to the free throw line and is still bricking free throws like it's nobody's business. So that was completely hilarious to see. But this has been a very impressive run for Miami, because you could people could say that you could scoff at the records and you could say, oh well, Miami, look, who have they beaten? Who have they taken on? It's like, yeah, but they're doing this all on the road, dude. Like, this is not like they're going. You're not going out here and you go in and at home and you have a bunch of cupcakes, like, yeah, you're taking on some teams that are not like the toughest teams in the world, but you're having to go from city to city, no let up. And Miami now, winners after dropping a 1-4, you've won 9 out of 10. I mean, I don't care who you're playing. That's impressive. That's impressive. And, to have a night like tonight where your guy who's been your most consistent force has been your best player all season, and Bam Adebayo, you don't have him. He's dealing with a hip injury, and you don't bat an eye, and you get this kind of performance from Kyle Lowry, who has been really good. And you got to credit Kyle. Like, there's been all of this. There's always like, I don't know. I don't want to say unrest, but there's always just like this. People like bristle at the idea of like Kyle Lowry's tenure with the Heat, and this guy has provided a big time thump for the Heat this year, especially with Tyler Hero going down. Wanted that starting role in his lineup. He got it, has not relinquished it, and has had a really solid year, man. He seems to get all these guys in the right place, and then tonight when you really do need that offensive punch, he killed it. 7 from downtown for him tonight, and a season high 28 points. Who could complain about this kid's season right now? I mean, who could complain about Kyle Lowry's season right now? He's been absolutely tremendous. So while it was nice for Max Strus, it was a nice sentimental moment to get the middle fingers out there. That was a beautiful thing. But that's over now. And Jimmy has a new best friend. And his name is Jaime Jaquez Jr. because he loves passing to him for 3-pointers. And that footwork, dude, is just, it's just so beautiful. Every time he goes into the post and he's putting those spin moves, I'm just like, footwork. That hair. He's just cool, Jaime Jaquez. There's just an essence of badass to him, dude. I love watching him play, and now that he's got this 3-point role that he's on right now, it was really, really impressive. And he had this one too where he gets right in the lane, steals, gets it right down to Orlando Robinson. Haywood Eisman's going to get the putback, but he's just, he does, it's funny. He's like, yeah, Jimmy Butler, favorite player in the draft, but he just like, you see so much of it. You see so much of Jimmy Butler in him. And it's just been he had one play too today where, start of the fourth quarter, Miami had this one in hand. I mean, it was not a close game, but like just even with it being a blowout, just had this tip out to the team. Miami able to corral the basketball. Caleb Martin ends up hitting a 3 out of it. Just like, damn, dude's just doing all of it. It's not just the scoring, but like he really is like he is a Heat culture-esque player where it's just like he's bringing everything. He's bringing the tenacity. He's bringing all of that stuff, the extra stuff that makes him a Miami Heat player. And you love seeing it from the Rook. He's been amazing. And awesome performance. Miami's back at it on Friday. A lot of action. You got the New York Knicks. It's an in-season tournament game. Can't wait for it.